Hey team, I'm so sorry that I cannot be at the meeting tonight. I had a prior obligation that I had to attend to, but I wanted to go over some things with you. The first thing we wanted to cover is Turnitin, making sure that all of your essays have that applied to them or anywhere there could be plagiarism. I know most of you all are familiar with Turnitin, but just a quick reminder on how you want to make sure that it is active in your course. We're going to go down, show you this one, edit folder. Then when you open the folder, you'll see the Turnitin tab here, which you'll click on. Enable grade mark for this folder. Automatically sync drafts, so the plagiarism detector comes on automatically and you'll see those percentages in your box. Enable originality check. Make sure you click allow learners to see Turnitin similarity scores so they can access their feedback. And then save and close, and Turnitin is then marked for that specific assignment, as you see. So make sure that you have that on all of your essays. Reason being is we want to make sure that we are grading using Turnitin, and that we are grading thoroughly. We want to make sure that we are leaving detailed essay feedback. It makes it a lot easier when parents come to Ashley or myself and have issues with the grade because there's no detailed feedback for the student to really learn from. Now, remember, we have created a new rubric for this semester, and I'm going to pull that up. Lindy and I worked on that. So I'm just going to go through the new rubric very quickly and kind of show you what you want to be looking at in your essays along with the rubric, and kind of what I've done to make the process a little easier. So the first thing I always look at is the thesis statement. And in our new rubric, we have talked about how we do not want a formulaic thesis statement. So remember, no 3-point thesis. That used to be how writing was taught, but it does create a very formulaic essay, and it limits what the students can write about. We want them to be prepared to go to college and to be able to write 15, 20, however many pages they need. So they need that broad yet focused thesis statement, not listing their points in the thesis. And then the other information, just having that developed introduction. So what I've done, and I have an essay pulled up that I graded from last semester. Let's just pretend we don't see it. There we go. Okay. What I've done is gone through and shown you on my Turnitin, I've made these comments here, and they have information in there. So evidence needed, development needed, and you can create your own comments here with links. So for example, I have, let's see, integrate. This teaches kids how to integrate their quotes properly. So if they're not integrating, you just drag and drop. So all of your comments are right here. So you still might need to write things in the margins, but you can create these comments that have more information in them. So everything is right there. So it's literally dragging and dropping, dragging and dropping, dragging and dropping, and it's detailed and it relates to the rubric. So for example, and I'm going to edit my comments this semester too, thesis error, right? Because in the rubric, we don't want that 3-point thesis. We want that broad thesis. Topic sentence error. Each body paragraph must have a clear topic sentence that relates to the thesis. So you're making sure they're seeing that connection. And that's on the rubric too, when you're moving down into the overall essay organization. After I look at the thesis, I look at each topic sentence, and I make sure that each topic sentence relates directly to the thesis, right, for those body paragraphs. Overall essay organization, this column is just because a lot of kids might turn in an essay with one body paragraph. They might turn in an essay with no body paragraphs. So this is just making sure that overall, holistically, the essay is looking like an essay, right? And then we break it down into these finer points. So the body paragraphs is a big one. We're going to be looking at essay feedback in everyone's courses just to make sure that we're giving students that depth. Again, because when parents have issues with grades, we want to be able to say, hey, like, this is the rubric, this is why, right? So we want all body paragraphs to have a clear topic sentence that relates to the thesis. Then we want all body paragraphs, if it is a research type essay, informative, argumentative, literary, to have at least 2 supporting details. And then we want them to have at least 2 pieces of evidence to provide those details. My kids have a template that I've given them that kind of shows them the structure and setup. So in the 10th and Brit Lit course, I know those templates are there. If you need the template or you want the template to provide to your students, let me know and I can send it to you. I'm also going to send you an email with a lot of other resources as well to help show kids these essay examples that I kind of created and walked them through. Then we want to make sure that they analyze each piece of evidence. So each body paragraph should be around 10 to 12 sentences, right? Because we want that developed idea in their body paragraph. They must be able to do this when they go to college. So here you'll see that this first body paragraph here is super short. It's not developed enough. I can look at it without even reading it and see it's not developed. First, the topic sentence doesn't relate directly to a thesis, since they're talking about advantages and disadvantages, right? So you want a broad topic sentence, not a fact. That would be something that goes in the evidence. So here I have, you need to develop first before you include this piece of evidence. Then you need to analyze, how is this a benefit? This paragraph just kind of goes and summarizes the salary, and it's essentially like they read something and then summarized it. So we want them to use their own ideas to create that development and to create that analysis throughout the essay. So another thing in the new rubric, the body paragraphs is the big one, right? Going through each body paragraph and making sure those topic sentences, development, evidence, analysis is all there. The conclusion paragraph, we still want to make sure, remember that it's not summarizing, that it's more of like a call to action, okay? We don't want to see a summary of the essay in the conclusion paragraph. We're trying to bring out those higher level writing skills. Voice and style, you'll recognize from our previous rubric. Nothing's changed there. Conventions, you'll see that nothing's changed there either. So mainly what you see in this new rubric is that we have more development requirements in all aspects of the essay, especially the body paragraphs, and then we've made the thesis requirement a little more clear as well. So again, super helpful to make your own drag and drops here with these descriptions beneath them. And now I want to show you really quickly the template that I was talking about that we go through in the course for them to see how their essays should be structured. See what page it's on really quickly. So here, the web template, and this is provided in the 10th and Brit Lit course. Here you'll see the basic structure that the rubric was kind of made to cover in terms of development. That's the web template. Let me get the outline template because it's a little more clear. So we let them choose between the web template and then the outline template. It's essentially the same thing, but the outline template allows them to basically cut and paste what they have. So this is essentially what we're using for the web template. And if you want this, you can have it. Introduction, you see that the thesis always goes at the end of the introduction. Then you have your body 1, body 2 topic sentence. Then your develop and transition are just 2 supporting details. Minimum of 2. And then your transition is just a way to transition into the next supporting detail. You have to prove whatever claim you make, so your development, then you must prove it, and then you must analyze. And here, this is the hardest part for the students, connecting it. How does this evidence prove my claim to be true? But I've made videos with examples of showing them how to analyze, and I have full essays of every kind of genre that go through what you would want it to look like exactly, MLA setup and everything. So what I'll do is I'll send an email with all of those, and they're YouTube videos, so I post them as news announcements, I send them in emails, I leave them as feedback. So it's pretty nice for them to have a visual of what a finished product should look like with someone who's going through each aspect of the essay and telling them how everything should be laid out. So in summation, make sure you're using TurnItIn. Make sure you are leaving detailed feedback in those essays. As we know from being in college, a lot of tests kind of go out the window and more essay writing comes in. So we want them to be able to analyze their ideas. I will send you all of this information. And if you have any questions about the rubric or about grading expectations, just shoot Ashri or I an email. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great night.